Hola amigos, Dr. LeBrun here. Today I'm going to help you get ready for your Chapter 1 review for Spanish 1. Alright, let's take a look at the objectives for Chapter 1, Spanish 1. So we're going to take a look at articles and nouns, adjectives, the verb ser, and pronouns. Also, we're going to be taking a look at cultural information, doing a little bit of practice with speaking, listening, reading and writing, and vocabulary. So for the vocabulary, I'm going to put a Quizlet or multiple Quizlets in the comment section below for various Spanish textbooks. So if you don't see a Quizlet for your textbook, if you write it in the comment section which textbook you're using, we'll see if I can find a Quizlet and add that in the comment section below. Alright, vamos a empezar aquí. Alright, let's cover our first objective, artículos y sustantivos, articles and nouns. So, in Spanish, words can either be masculine or feminine, and sometimes that makes sense, but sometimes words are just put into a category that seems random, and you'll just have to memorize if it's masculine or feminine, but I'm going to teach you a quick trick. But also there are some words that end in E, or they may end in a consonant, and you'll just have to memorize are they masculine or feminine. So the trick is if a word ends in O, it's typically masculine. There can be some exceptions. And if a word ends in A, it is feminine. And they can become plural by adding a S. And let's take a look here. El muchacho, the boy. La muchacha, the girl. And then to make the words plural, we just add an S. Los alumnos, the students, and las alumnas, the female students. And then also, we're going to be going into this a little bit more in depth, is that there are 4 ways in Spanish to say the word the. So pay attention to that as well. But then la clase, it ends in E. So I'm just going to have to memorize if that's masculine or feminine. Since it's la clase, that tells me that it's a feminine word. And that's going to be important in the next coming slides. And then again, to make that plural, we just add S, las clases, the classes. Okay, let's try a little bit of practice here. See if you can figure out which one of the 4 words for the would use in Spanish, and then we'll go over the answers in just a moment. So pause the video. If you need some time to work, I'm going to go on to the answers right now. All right, so we've got la música. So notice música ends in A, so that's feminine. El curso. Curso ends in O, that's masculine. Now we're going to take a look at some plural ones. Los estudios sociales. So notice estudios ends in OS, so I'm going to use los. And las profesoras. So profesoras ends in AS, so I'm going to use las. El español. Okay, that one's a tricky one. It ends in a consonant, but I'm just going to have to memorize that's masculine, el español. And then los profesores. Again, that one ends in ES, so I'm just going to have to memorize if I'm talking about male teachers. It could be male or female teachers, a group of both. It's going to become los. So keep in mind there's 4 ways to say the in Spanish. El, la, los, and las. Okay, next concept is how to say a, or an, or some. They're called indefinite articles. So artículos y sustantivos, articles and nouns. Okay, similar concept to the. That was the definite article. And now I'm saying a, or an, or some. A, an, or some. All right, un muchacho, a boy. So again, it's a masculine word, ends in O. Una muchacha, a girl. It's a feminine word, ends in A. And so for our examples here, mostly they're going to make sense why it's masculine or feminine. But once we get more in depth into Spanish, words are just put into one category or the other without any rhyme or reason sometimes. All right, how about if we want to make some words plural? Unos alumnos, some students, could be all males or it could be males and females. And then unas alumnas, the female version has to be some females, but it has to be a group of all females. And then una clase, a class, and unas clases, some classes. All right, give a try to the practice activity here. Pause the video if you need some time to work, and then I'm going to go over the answers in just a few moments. All right, we're back with our answers. Here are respuestas. Una escuela, un curso, unos jóvenes, unas jóvenes. Okay, so for unos, that's if it's 100% young people, males, or it could be a group of males and females. Unas jóvenes would have to be 100% females for some young people. All right, unas profesoras, un joven. If it's un, then it means a male young person, and una joven, that means it's a female young person or teenagers. Unos profesores, some teachers. Could be all males, most likely it's going to be a group of males and females. All right, let's take a look at our next objective here. We need to cover adjectives, adjectivos. So in Spanish, adjectives must match the nouns that they describe in number and gender. So is the noun singular or plural? Is it masculine or feminine? So typically there could be 4 endings that an adjective can have. And again, notice that it's lining up. There's 4 ways to say the or 4 ways to say a. It's a similar concept building on with that. So un muchacho guatemalteco. So we said muchacho ends in O, it's masculine. So guatemalteco needs to match up with that. Una muchacha mexicana. So muchacha is feminine, it ends in A. And our adjective mexicana is describing that noun, also needs to end in A. All right, los alumnos buenos, the good students. So notice alumnos ends in OS, and buenos is matching up with that. It's masculine and plural. Las amigas simpáticas, the nice female friends. So amigas, feminine and plural. So simpáticas has to match up with that. All right, how about if a word ends in a consonant, what do we do? Okay, we can't just add S, we need to add ES. Unos alumnos españoles. So here, since español ends in a consonant, it does not end in OS, it ends in ES. Same thing, interesante. We add an S to make that plural, unas clases interesantes. So with español or interesante, it doesn't matter if the noun is masculine or feminine, it's going to be the same. It only matters if it's singular or plural. If it's singular, español ends in L, interesante ends in E, but to make them plural, españoles add ES and interesantes add a S. Okay, so in chapter 1, we're going to take a look at a very important verb. It's the verb ser, which means to be. So this is how you're going to see it in your textbook, and it's kind of tricky to understand what this means on your own, and so that's why I'm going to help explain it here. And we're going to go through about soy, eres, es, somos, soy, son. Let's take a look at the different meanings of this verb chart here. Okay, so the reason why you're watching this video is because I'm going to help explain this chart to you. So the first thing that we need to know about are these subject pronouns. So it's the person doing the action of the verb. So yo is I, tú, you, él, he, ella, she, usted, you. Okay, you might see abbreviated capital UD period. Also notice that tú has an accent. Without the accent, it means something different. And then also él with the accent means he. Without it means the. And then continuing on to our plural column, nosotros or nosotras, we. Vosotros, vosotras, y'all. Just used in Spain, it's informal. Ellos, ellas, ustedes. Ellos, they, ellas, they, for a group of all females, and ustedes, all of you, and can be abbreviated capital UDS, period. So very, very important that you know these subject pronouns. Okay, so let's take a look at the verb ser, which means to be. So I don't say I to be in English, I have to change it or conjugate it, and I have to do the same thing in Spanish. I say yo soy, I am. Tú eres, you are. Él es, he is. Ella es, she is. Usted es, you are. The formal versions. So we don't have a formal version in English, so a formal version is used to show respect to a boss or to a teacher, or to be polite to somebody that we don't know, maybe a stranger on the street we're asking directions. Okay, let's continue on here. Nosotros somos, we are. It's a group of all males or a group of males and females. Nosotras somos, we are a group of 100% females. Vosotros sois, vosotras sois, y'all are. Again, informal, just used in Spain. Ellos son, ellas son, they are. And ustedes son, you all are. So those are the conjugations of the verb ser, to be, in Spanish. So it's very important that you know this for Chapter 1, Spanish 1. All right, so ser, to be, ellos son. Looks like we just, yeah, let's talk about this one a little bit more in depth. So ellos son, they are a group of all males or males and females. Ellas son, they are a group of 100% females. Ustedes son, you all are speaking directly to two or more people. So with ellos or ellas, that's called third person plural. You're talking about some people. And then ustedes son, that's called second person, meaning that you're talking to a person or a group of people. All right, so let's try some practice here. See if you can figure out which form of ser is going to go into the blank. And we'll go over the answers in just a few moments, but pause the video if you need some time to work. All right, de donde? I want to say, where are you from? Nosotros blank graciosos. I want to say, we are funny. And las casas, the houses are white. Which form of ser are you going to use here? So pause the video if you need more time to work. Otherwise, we're going to go over the answers now. All right, de donde eres tú? Where are you from? Nosotros somos graciosos. We are funny. Las casas son blancas. The houses are white. Okay, so using the verb ser, we're able to start putting together some simple sentences in Spanish and starting to communicate. All right, some other things that are very, very important for us to be able to communicate in Spanish are the question words. So if someone asks us a question, we need to know what's being asked of us so we can answer it. Or if we need to find information, we need to know what the question word is to be able to ask and get the information that we need. So these are very, very important words that you should know. And I've got another video that specifically focuses on these palabras interrogativas. All right, quién, who, quién es who, and the plural version. Notice there's a upside down question mark at the beginning, and then also these words all have an accent as well. So notice that quién ended in a consonant, and to make that plural, I added es. Como, how. Sometimes could be translated as what, depending on the question. Keep that in mind. De donde, from where. De qué nacionalidad, of what nationality. And cuál, which, or what, depending on the question. So you have to be a little bit flexible with the translations. The words and sentences and phrases don't always translate 100% word for word. So that's an important skill, to be flexible with how the words and phrases translate from language to language. All right, so can do hablando y escuchando. Can try some speaking and listening here. Can practice with a partner. Or if you don't have a partner, just see if you can answer these questions on a piece of paper. And then I'm going to go over the answers in a few moments. Again, pause the video if you need time to work. All right, número uno. ¿Quién es tu profesor de español? Or ¿quién es tu profesora de español? Dos. ¿De qué nacionalidad eres tú? Tres. ¿De dónde eres tú? Cuatro. ¿Cuál clase es interesante? Cinco. ¿Cuál curso es duro o difícil? All right, we're going to go over the answers in just a moment. Again, pause the video if you need more time to work. All right, your answers may vary a little bit, but might be something like this. Mi profesor de español es. Yo soy. Might be americano or americana, depending if you're male or female. Yo soy de. Fill in the blank. Is it California or South Dakota? Cuatro. Español es interesante. Hopefully you came up with that answer. Cinco. Inglés es duro. Again, your answers might vary slightly. All right, up next, leyendo y escribiendo. Reading and writing. So here's a letter from Maria. She's writing to you. Take a few moments and see if you can write a letter back to Maria. Pause the video if you need time to work, and I'm going to go over a sample response in just a few moments. She writes, Hola amigo, or Hola amiga. Yo soy Maria. Soy de Madrid, España. Soy española. Soy alumna en una escuela pública. Soy alumna en la clase de inglés. Soy inteligente. Adiós, Maria. So again, see if you can write a letter back to Maria in Spanish, telling her about yourself. And I'm going to go over a sample response in just a moment. All right, your sample response might look something like this. Hola amiga, yo soy Joe. Soy de Chicago, Illinois. Soy americano. Soy alumno en una escuela privada. Soy alumno en la clase de español. Soy gracioso. Hasta luego, Jose. So if you're a female, then your adjectives should also match up describing a female. So again, your answers may vary slightly. All right, let's take a look at some información cultural, some cultural information that could be important for us to know as we begin learning Spanish. So these are some statements. See if you can figure out what they say in English. Maybe you want to translate them. And then this could be an area for discussion. All right, Mexicano-Americanos es el grupo más grande de hispanohablantes en los Estados Unidos. And I abbreviated Estados Unidos, AA. Punto, punto. All right, número dos. Muchos cubanoamericanos son de Florida. Y número tres. Hay más de 50 millones de hispanohablantes en los Estados Unidos. See if you can figure out this cultural information and what we're talking about, and if there's any questions or comments or discussion questions pertaining to them. All right, here's our translations for our Información Cultural. Mexican Americans is the largest group of Spanish speakers in the United States. Número dos. Many Cuban Americans are from Florida. Número tres. There are more than 50 million Spanish-speaking people in the U.S. So that could be some ways that you can use your Spanish here in the U.S. and some motivation for you to learn, because you're definitely going to be able to use your Spanish once you start learning it, even from chapter 1, even from the very beginning. All right, so that was Capítulo 1, Ser, Articles, Nouns, Adjectives. In our previous video, we went over the preliminary lesson with greetings, numbers, other basic background information. All right, stay tuned for our upcoming videos, Capítulo 2, Tener and Possessive Adjectives. Capítulo 3, AR verbs in the present tense. And Capítulo 4, ER and IR verbs also in the present tense. And that will help you get ready for your first semester test for Spanish 1. All right, gracias por mirar. Go ahead, click that subscribe button. It's going to give you a free Spanish test prep video access. And this is Learning Spanish with Dr. L. Adios, hasta pronto, ciao, hasta la vista.